New subscribers may not be aware of the fact that my channel name wasn't always LagoVirt. Yes, I actually used to operate under the cringy handle of Hazelnut, but after that, I ended up using the alias Vaguely Neutral. The premise of my channel was supposed to be reading about weird bouts in the furry fandom's history and having very little opinion-based input from myself. I'm sure we all know how that turned out. While I still aim to keep as neutral as possible on matters that I cover, I'd have to be an idiot to say that my bias is absolutely absent in my videos. I wouldn't be covering zoophiles if I didn't find issue with people violating their pets. I wouldn't be praising or critiquing a video game if I didn't find some kind of interest in the topic. Even just choosing a topic to cover has to have some kind of motivation behind it. And depending on how you express that coverage, your ideals and views can usually be inferred or assumed by the audience. But something came to mind recently that just sort of changed how I thought about the topics and individuals I cover. I forget whose video it was, but something they said raised a question. With the number of shoddy individuals I've made videos covering, you have to wonder, the actions of that person are the sole reason the video was even made in the first place. So, what exactly do these videos do concerning the individual themselves? Like, are they going to stop condoning the scoring of Fido? Will they seek help to stop profiting off of those unfortunate enough to get aroused by sexual cub content? Essentially what I'm getting at here is, on the internet, can you really change a person's mind? Obviously the answers to that is almost certainly a case-by-case basis, but in regards to YouTube as well as just the entire internet in general, it almost feels like people become more and more stuck in their ways the larger their platform becomes. Prominent examples from YouTube that may come to mind are Rice Gum, Nikocado Avocado, Yandere Dev. Individuals who, in their prime, appear to be getting a new controversy or altercation every time you blinked. They'd either apologize for what they did just to do something else reprehensible, or just double down and continue doing it anyways. Some to this very day. But chances are, if you understand what I'm saying, you're probably old enough to know what happened with these individuals. So instead, we'll be talking about something more recent. The channel I'll be using for an example goes by Hypnotist Sappho. Now, Sappho is an avid player of VR chat. The videos she uploads are majorly sessions where she hypnotizes other users.
I want you to focus on a different kind of feeling, replacing with warmth and comfort and love, like you're being held and cradled and kissed, caressed and so gently, so gingerly, being given those head pats, having those paws rubbing right against your face.
Comparable to that of an ASMR channel, I suppose, would explain why this content isn't really for me. Now, the reason I'm bringing up this individual is due to their recent admission to being a zoophile. I shouldn't even have to explain how taking advantage of an animal with little to no understanding of a sexual interspecies relationship is disgusting to an ironically inhumane degree, so I won't. Instead, I'll direct you over to a live stream where two of my commentary acquaintances go through the video addressing the admission. As I agree with the majority of what they said, it would feel almost redundant to repeat the points. But the reason I'm bringing up this content creator is due to the fact that when they first announced that they were zoophile, regardless of how the video was trying to downplay how vile the decision was, I still felt an iota of empathy for them. The owner of a relatively small channel was uploading a video on how they felt about Fido. They weren't trying to profit off these feelings or anything, just uploading a video talking about it. Then I watched the video.
But recently, after discovering there's other people with similar feelings to me and ideals, it has inspired me enough to have this message. And that would include online resources like the Zooier Than Thou podcast.
The half an hour was just your basic zoophile justifying propaganda. We care for animals and would never hurt them. That's why I'm sexually attracted to and want to get fucked by my German Shepherd, which could possibly result in the animal having an unpredictable amount of behavioral and social issues. But we denounce the people who abuse their animals. Even now, with the number of experiences I've had lurking in zoophilic circles, I still felt bad for Sappho. It appeared somewhat as if they were struggling with issues and took the wrong path in terms of tending to said issues. I thought there was still an off chance that Sappho would reconsider their actions, delete the video, and try to move on from the ordeal. You know how YouTubers usually deal with changing their minds. Instead, we have Sappho showing the platform they accept donations on, with the promise of more Zoophile-based content, as well as a more recent video for the haters. Remember when Minecraft dubstep intros were a thing?
Hypnotist Sappho
Dog fucker
has joined your lobby.
Time is most certainly a flat circle now, isn't it? This, along with their comments of looking forward to pissing off antis or people against screwing the pooch, only go on to show that Sappho clearly finds nothing wrong with her decision to tell the world that she wants to get it on with dogs. German Shepherds and Golden Retrievers specifically. And to sate my curiosity, I decided to contact Sappho to get a statement straight from the source. I will message them saying, "It's only a common courtesy for me to attempt to reach out for a comment, considering how you've reached the conclusion that it would be best for you to double down on lusting for a specific canine breed, opposed to reaching out for an individual who's properly equipped to handle whatever bestiality-driven thoughts you appear to be undergoing." As you can see, I can't just keep shit simple apparently. Regardless, I would be told exactly as I expected. They were happy with their choice of labeling themselves as a zoophile, and plan to create a zoosexual activism organization. A dog screwer's NAMBLA, to put it crudely. I do in fact talk to a psychiatrist, but because being a zoophile doesn't actually cause any stress in my life, and it's considered an outdated classification as a paraphilic disorder, there's not much to be done, as if that actually invalidates the unhealthy byproducts that would come from actually carrying out a sexual relationship with an animal. They also say they aren't just attracted to the dog breeds mentioned sexually, but also emotionally, since animals aren't two-faced and hateful like humans. A breed statement that I've already voiced my disdain against through multiple zoophile-based videos. You can most certainly be emotionally attached to an animal and care for them without needing to screw them. I've loved, cared for, and grew emotionally attached to my cat in the past without pulling a certain blacklisted E6 tag, and things turned out just fine. Either way, I had gotten my clarification that Sappho wasn't backing down from the decision, and nothing I said was going to sway that. Even if I were to bring in the multitude of studies proving that bestiality results in the majority of animal sexual abuse cases and behavioral issues that could stem from such an act, I am near certain they would find whatever they could to attempt to refute the evidence. Same as those who she attributes her newfound openness to, regardless of their track records. So, from the messages between me and Sappho, you can probably tell that I didn't exactly try very hard to persuade them from their decision to advocate screwing animals, regardless of how adamantly I'm against it. Why is that? Well, with the time I've been covering and spreading the misdeeds of individuals, I've come to realize that on the internet, people really have no incentive to change. While the aim of my channel was never explicitly to pull some activism or try and sway people away from their shitty and harmful decisions, I would be an objective failure if it was. This isn't some self-deprecating thing either, it's just look at any of the people I've made videos on or have talked about. Tuggle and his animal fornicating posse still run their podcast to this day spreading harmful ideals. As we speak, Zosh is still creating cup content for profit, and the video I put together a while back voicing my disdain with said content did very little in terms of swaying opinions of those who profit off those getting off to this stuff. And worst of all, even worse, people are blocking me on Twitter. I don't know how I'll live with the fact that I can't see that nothing has really changed. Does that mean I'll stop making videos in the vein of these? Of course not. That only means as I continue, you'll notice a much different tone. Because at the end of the day, going out of your way to spread awareness or cancel someone very rarely does anything in terms of helping the individual become a better person. More people will know about what they've done, which can certainly keep it from happening again. But will that make the person change their ways? What's to stop the person from trying to find out a way to do it without getting caught, or hell, even just doing it in broad daylight because they don't give a shit? Unless the person themselves decides that what they've done is wrong, they aren't even going to consider changing their stride. So, to make sense of all of this, don't go about harassing people and spreading their misdeeds with the intent of getting them to become better people. I have to make this clear. Do not go about harassing people, especially because of the video I made. Spread them with the intent of informing the public so that they're more cautious and will actively avoid being exposed to the person or their harmful beliefs. If a person wants to stop themselves from being a harmful human being, they'll most certainly find a way themselves. And if not, well, I'm sure the internet will just do what it does regardless. Stay safe out there.